Bracing for a possible trust vote during the special assembly session from August 14, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot on Sunday sent out the 3-page communication urging all the MLAs in the 200-member House to listen to the voice of the people to save democracy and stand with the truth in the interest of the state. The appeal came even as he fired a factionalism barb at BJP for ring-fencing its MLAs at different locations, flayed the Sachin Pilot-led Congress dissidents for falsely accusing him of having filed sedition cases against them and kept his own flock insulated in Jaisalmer from any poaching attempt by either side. Even as the government is working day and night to fight off the COVID-19 pandemic, some of our Congress colleagues and certain leaders in the opposition are conspiring to topple our democratically elected government. This is unfortunate, said Gehlot's lengthy note to the legislators. The note harks back to a similar conspiracy against the erstwhile BJP government led by the late Bhairon Singh Shekhawat and how Gehlot, who was then a union minister and PCC chief, opposed horse trading of MLAs. The people of the state would never want such a tradition to be set in Rajasthan. Currently, the people of the state are in deep anger against the elected representative involved in this conspiracy. The note ends with an impassionate appeal. You may be a legislator from any political party, but you should understand that the sentiments of our peers, your family members and your voters and decide to ensure that the majority government elected by the people keeps working firmly for the welfare of the Rajasthan and that the plans to destabilize the government do not succeed. Later in the day, Gehlot said BJP shifting 20 of its 72 Rajasthan MLAs to Gujarat and corralling the rest at different locations within the state could mean the party is riddled with factionism. The CM argued that Congress legislators being confined to 2 resorts in Jaisalmer was different because the party needed to thwart alleged horse trading by BJP. But why is BJP worried? Is it ring-fencing its MLAs at 3-4 locations in a selective manner? I can see frictions in them, he told reporters at Jaisalmer airport. Gehlot also targeted the 19 Congress dissident MLAs for wrongly creating the impression that notices issued to them by the SOG, which filed 3 sedition cases last month, had been engineered by the state government. The CM said even he received a notice from the SOG. Bureau Report. Most civilian plane crashes are followed by speculations over whether they were caused by human error or a technical defect. With Friday's crash at Kozhikode Airport, there is an added complications: tabletop runways. India's second tabletop plane crash in a decade has drawn the focus of authorities on this short runways that can challenge the best of the pilots when the weather is bad. An Air India Express flight crashed after overshooting the runway at Kozhikode Airport in Kerala on Friday night, killing 18 people and injuring scores. A very similar accident at the Mangalore Tabletop Airport in 2010 killed 158 people. Landing aircraft on the tabletop runways, which are located on top of a hills or a plateau with deep gorges running down their sides, is a steep ask in poor weather condition. The slightest lapses in such conditions can lead to a fatal crashes. If visibility is poor and there are tailwinds, landing on a tabletop airports becomes a challenge. Aquaplaning or drainage of water and rubber deposits at tabletop airports are huge safety threats, as this can lead to a poor braking and the aircraft overshooting the runway. However, Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri, while speaking about the crash, said issues like excessive rubber deposits, water stagnations and cracks at the airport that were routinely flagged by the DGCA had been addressed by the airport operator Airport Authority of India before the crash. According to senior officials at the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, the crash happened because the aircraft landed at 3,000-foot point on a runway that is 8,500 foot long. At the Kozhikode's tabletop airport normally land at 800 feet, but this ill-fated 91344 flight landed beyond the 3,000 feet, resulting in the accident, the DGCA official said. The airport at Kozhikode had two runways, both 2,700 meters in length. They have a safety features called the runway and a safety area of 240 meters as mandated by the International Civil Aviation Organization, which limit the consequences when aeroplanes overrun the end of a runway. Experts are calling for India to pave runways with engineered materials, a resting system at 7 tabletop runways, Kozhikode and Kannur in Kerala, Mangalore in Karnataka, Pakyong in Sikkim, Shimla and Kullu, Himachal Pradesh and Lengpui in Mizoram. Bureau Report. Now Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has come up with another malafide revelation. He said Lord Ram was born in South Nepal's Ayodhya Puri and not Uttar Pradesh Ayodhya. Oli's remark on Ayodhya, the second in a month, comes against the backdrop of an acrimonious power struggle within the ruling Nepal Communist Party that is widely seen headed for a split. PM Oli has made it clear that he isn't going to step down anytime soon, as demanded by the rival camp led by the party's co-chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal and two other former PMs, Madhav Nepal and Jhalanath Khanal. PM Oli's rival have the majority within the party but have been unable to dislodge the Prime Minister, who has been needling India's Nepal's new map was one such effort to endear himself to Chinese Communist Party. PM Oli's claim last month that Lord Ram was born in the South Nepal's Ayodhya Puri and not UP's Ayodhya was delivered in this context. The remark was described as ludicrous by his party, who spotted a pattern in the Prime Minister's undiplomatic and irritating pinpricks targeting India. New Delhi had then let it pass after the Foreign Ministry in Kathmandu rushed to put it out a clarification, clarifying that the Prime Minister only meant to highlight the importance of further studies and research of the cultural geography represented by Ramayana. The Prime Minister, who had been bunking meetings of the NCP's top leadership for weeks, took out 2 hours to meet a delegation from the Madi in the Chitwan district to discuss his plans for Lord Ram's birthplace. He told the delegation members that they should get down to prepping for Lord Ram's idol and promote Ayodhya Puri as his place of birth. A suggestion to rename the municipality to Ayodhya Puri was also floated at this meeting. PM's Oli continuing efforts to appropriate Lord Ram's birthplace has drawn sharp reactions from the religious leaders in Nepal, including the priest at the Janaki temple, Acharya Durga Prasad Gautam, the Nepalese priest who participated in the Bhumi Pujan at Ayodhya, had run down PM Oli's claim, describing the claim as absurd. Kathmandu Watcher says that the shrewd communist leaders' sudden interest in religion lately appeared to be designed to signal to China and its ambassador Ho Yankee that he was their best bet against India and should receive Beijing support. Ambassador Hao derisively described as Nepal's new viceroy to reflect her influence over the prime ministers, has been quietly working to avoid a split in the Nepal Communist Party. At one point, she is learned to have messaged to Oli's rival that the Chinese Communist Party's sole interest was to ensure that NCP formed in 2018 after the merger of Nepal's two communist parties did not split. Bureau Report.